I am a hobbyist photographer who recently turned 48. For my birthday, I bought an old Leica M8. It's an impractical choice for this day and age of specifications. But as I used it, I began to see myself in it. This almost 20-year-old camera reminded me that there is so much to learn from the old, the aging, the fragile, and even in flaws. Here are a few realizations. Learn to live gently with uncertainty and fragility. In choosing the Leica M8, most would call it a foolish choice. An old digital camera, fragile, unpredictable, and long past its prime. They're not wrong. It could fail any day, today, tomorrow, next year. But then again, isn't that the truth about all of us after 40? We live with the quiet awareness that nothing lasts forever. Not our strength, not our energy, not our time. And so we begin to move slower, but with more care. We choose what matters. We let go of what doesn't. We make full use of our time deliberately while we still can. The wisdom of time and enduring the scratches. There's poetry in holding a camera that has endured time, yet still works. Its edges softened by years, its paint faded with grace, its buttons moving with the cautious confidence of age, as if aware of their own mortality. The scratches aren't signs of neglect, but of a life fully lived and fully experienced. And perhaps that's how I see myself now. A little worn, but not diminished. Slower, softer, yet more present. Because endurance isn't about escaping time's touch, but allowing it to refine us, without losing the will to keep living beautifully. Speed impresses the youth, but patience sustains the wise. The Leica M8 is slow by modern standards. It doesn't chase frames per second or boast megapixels, and it's even slow to process the shot. Every press of the shutter demands presence, a small ceremony between thought and action. The way I see it, there's a grace in being slow. It's no longer rushing to prove, but simply moving with purpose. It's the kind of wisdom that comes when you realize that not everything meaningful needs to be done in a hurry. The beauty of subtraction. Its menu is simple, almost primitive. Only what's essential remains. And in that, I recognize another quiet truth of midlife, the beauty of subtraction. We spend our younger years collecting experiences, possessions, ambitions, until one day we realize the real art lies in letting go, in knowing that clarity, not complexity, is what can sustain us. On being firm in character, but flexible in vision. The M8 can mount both old and new lenses, a bridge between generations. And it will still process the images you capture the way it's supposed to be, as originally designed. I like to think that's what aging gracefully means, to hold on to one's principles, yet still stay open to new ways of seeing things, to be firm in character, but flexible in perception, to see the world with the wisdom of what's been lived, but have the curiosity of what's still to unfold. Why do some things are beautiful? Because they can't be made again. The Leica M8 carries a sensor made by Kodak, a name that once defined photography itself, yet has now faded into history. That sensor will never be made again. It renders colors differently, deeper, moodier, with a warmth that modern sensors can't quite imitate. And I suppose, in a way, that makes it even more precious, because what is rare often carries a beauty born not of perfection, but of scarcity and survival. Maybe that's how it is with us too. We were formed by a particular time, one that no longer exists. The way we grew up, the music that shaped us, the slower rhythm of our days, all belong to a world that has quietly disappeared. There won't be another version of you. No one will see or feel the world exactly as you do. And like that Kodak sensor, you might not be perfect by today's standards, but your way of seeing still has value. To be loved for our flaws is the highest form of grace. That's why I see myself in this old camera. Maybe you can too. It's a thing with flaws, yet still capable of beauty. It's no longer perfect. Perhaps it never was in the first place, but it still works, still has purpose, still holds value, though maybe only to those who truly see it. In this age of disposability that feels almost radical, to be chosen not because we are flawless, but because someone has learned to love what time has done to us. Only those who understand both the limits and the gifts of this camera will want it. They won't deny its imperfections. They'll work with them, maybe even through them. The scratches, the quirks, the slowed response, they aren't obstacles. They are the texture of its truth. And maybe that's the quiet lesson life whispers as we grow older. To be seen not as perfect, but as whole. To find meaning not in what's new, but in what endures. To recognize that beauty and imperfection were never opposites. They've always been partners, weaving together the fabric of what makes something or someone real. The Leica M8, like many of us, is a flawed gem. And perhaps that's what makes it, and us, worth keeping, worth using, worth loving, and worth living with for as long as time allows.